here on YouTube. Figured we'd do a live tonight Q&A if any of you want to jump on. I am going to be working on putting a decoder in a locomotive, probably do a few things around the layout. But first, I'm going to get one of my trains up and running, make sure it's running good for, actually I'm going live for the first time on TikTok tomorrow. So make sure that runs well. So I'm going to flip this around temporarily while I get my system up and running and get a train going. So I'm going to flip back around here. And we are going to three. You know, the one thing I don't get is these Broadway Limited. Now, mind you, the Broadway Limited that I have is a very, very old Broadway Limited from 2004. But I have the sound off, and I don't get it. Maybe there's something in programming I need to look at. But when I have the sound off, selected off, because I don't want it sitting there making a whole bunch of sound, I do have the volume turned all the way down. What am I doing here? Lower you guys down here a little bit more. Come down to my level. But when I have the sound turned off, it's weird. When I kick the system on, I got the Digitrax system, which is I don't think that matters. Excuse my mess here. It is messy, yes, very messy. Even though I have it off or selected off on the throttle, so it shouldn't, in a sense, be powering up. Guess what it does? It'll sit there and make its sounds, and yeah, so I have to select it in order to shut it up, basically. So what we're doing, I'm getting set up. Yes, my workbench here is very messy. That's what happens when you work on stuff all the time. So if you happen to watch this after it's live and you see something here, anything here, and I got another one, so there it is, and you have any questions, comments, whatever, by all means, feel free to comment. Absolutely. Get my trash box out here. And so this setup is actually it was given to me given to us, I should say, by the CEO of the Iowa Eastern Railroad, aka girlfriend, boss lady, her daughter and her daughter's husband. It's basically a computer desk, and was using it for a little bit, then didn't use it, and then got back into model railroading. And I'm like, once I got my bench work here, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. It slides under. It's got wheels on it. It slides under real easy. Yeah, so that's what I use here. So what we're doing is, this is an Athearn Blue Box GP38. As you can see, I've already got it pretty well torn apart. I got the wheels out. I got the got them greased up, geared up, whatever, lubed up. What I use now, I'm just going to check the gauges, and this one I bought used. Clearly, I'm going to have to do some wheel cleaning, but that's going to be once I get this done. So what we are working on, for those that just jumped in, we're installing a decoder in an Atherton Blue Box GP38. Yes, I've already got the got it all tore apart. Most people, if you haven't torn one apart, maybe I'll do a video on that, an actual video, not necessarily live, on how to tear one apart. But I'm just getting this prepped for decoder installation. I am installing, I'm a Digitrax operator. I'm not doing sound yet, but I am installing a DH166 decoder, or I'm sorry, a DH126 decoder in this one. I only need two functions, headlight and forward light and reverse light, I guess, rather. So that's what I'm working on right now. And said at the beginning of the video, yes, my workbench is busy, but I do a lot of work. I'm down here a lot working on locomotives and cars. In fact, I've got 2 passenger cars I picked up. Or I shouldn't say I picked up, I purchased on Facebook Marketplace, and they were up in the Minneapolis area, and fortunately the girlfriend's daughter lives up there. Oh, my throttle, telling me I need to do something or it's going to shut off. There we go. And fortunately it was a really good deal, and so fortunately she was willing to go pick them up for me. So I got to work on those here soon. I want to get those done before they come down for Christmas, so she can see them run. I purchased them, even though I'm modern day. I have Broadway Limited 484 Santa Fe, or I should say ATSF, that I know years ago when I had my big railroad, my kids always used to call it the Polar Express. So I'm going to kind of keep that, in a sense, tradition going once I get those cars going and get a few more passenger cars. But if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm actually using electrical tape on these just to add a little bit more insulation, barrier, whatever you want to call it, between the bottom of the motor. And so the motor doesn't short out. You can kind of see, because right here in the middle is where it cuts. It's the paint stripped away, so the tabs would sit on there, and I should say it that way. So it grounds itself. So we do away with that because we actually solder on our wires to these. If you're not into DCC or are thinking about getting into it and what it takes, but yeah. So thank you for those that have joined. I appreciate it so far. I always keep all my Digitrax. They give you wiring and stuff like that diagram, but I don't know why. I don't know if it's just OCD or what it is, but I always keep these for what locomotive they go in. I think partially so, not that I plan on selling any, but if I do, I'm I can send it to who I may sell the locomotive to, or give it to, whatever. But thank you for tuning. I will say, if you're watching on here and you have not checked this out, little advertising for us, we do have a audio podcast that's on Spotify, iTunes, So check us out over there under the same name, Model Railroad Talk. We talk nothing but model railroading, and in a non-judgmental manner too. We firmly believe it's your railroad. Do what you want. While, others may bark at that. Well, you know what? When in the end, if we're happy, that's all that matters. So what I did there was I basically just flipped. This was the bottom piece for the motor, which grounded. Just as another precautionary, I flipped that over, and I am going to, next step, just clip them off just so they're not in the way. And then solder my leads to those. But going back to the podcast and even the videos here, this is just regular guy way. Like I said, some people may get upset with the way I do things. Oh, you need to do it this way, you need to do it that way. Everybody has their own way of doing things. And with the exception of 2 of my locomotives, the rest are Athearn Blue Box used ones. And actually, I will hear very shortly. Flip the camera up so you can see the train coming around. Show you the one that's the 2 AC44, or I'm sorry, not AC, C44-9s running around. They're Athearn Blue Box. I did them the same way. So on these decoders, on the wiring, you have an orange and a gray. There's all these others we'll get to down the road, but gray is always going to be your bottom where it would ground. So on the very bottom part, and your orange is the top of the motor. Real easy. So I always start with the ground. We're going to we're going to go ahead and tin it. I'm just using 6040 rosin core, basically electronic solder. And train just went by. It's coming around again here shortly. I'll actually flip it up so you can watch that here in a minute. Let that come around. Give it a good 10. And then since that's going on the bottom, we're going to throw some solder on here. Very carefully on these Athearn Blue Box motors. You got to be careful. You don't want to put too much heat. Believe it or not, you can melt the plastic that holds all that. So I generally try to plan my wire to where it routes up. It doesn't get in the way. So it's slightly longer. There's my cutters right there. And we're going to throw this on here. And this is actually probably all I'm going to get done tonight as far as the electronics, because before I get too far, I've actually got and I'll show you here in a minute. I'll show you now actually. And I do that I've done this, I should say, with my Athearn Blue Box locomotives. These are, my fingers will work. These are micro LEDs. I don't know if I can get it to focus on it or not. Yeah, well, kind of. But they are, they're not like bright white. They're actually, what do you call it? They look, the color that comes out of them, they look like regular light bulbs. I use those, A, because they're small, as you can see, but B, I'll take this all apart and I'll put like one behind this light, one behind that light, and same with the front. Get it mounted in there, run them, put my resistors and stuff on, and tuck all the wires. So we're not going to go that far tonight. A, because I'm tired, and B, I've got to get prepped for our TikTok live video debut tomorrow, which I'm excited about. So I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to get this wire tinned and on the top of the motor, and then we're going to, that didn't work out like I want. This one thing I'll tell you, if you're doing this, always when you cut your wire for these things, make sure you cut a little extra, because even from, and this isn't just Digitrax, any manufacturer, who knows where they got their wire, how long it's been sitting on a shelf, it can get brittle. And I've had them to where I've basically more or less destroyed a harness, one of these plugs, because I kept chasing it and there's nothing I could do. So I always I have a couple extra on hand. So we are going to get this soldered. We'll let this set for a few seconds. Some people, I have been asked before on videos when I've done regular videos, what soldering iron I use. I used to use the pencil style, which, yes, this is a pencil grip. I'll show you here. It does have a pencil grip, but the one I use is actually, it's an adjustable one. You turn it on, it's got the base, but I can adjust the temperature right here based on what I'm doing. I found I'm at 591, the temperature I'm at now. Honestly, since it is China made from Amazon, that's probably in Celsius. No, that wouldn't be. That would be Fahrenheit. I don't know. Anyways, it works really well though. I have not had one issue with it since I've had it, and I've had it 7-8 months already. So what I'm going to do is lift you guys up, and let's see here. What did I do here? Hi. I got my tripod all jacked up with we are going to get you guys lifted up here. There we go. That's where I want. Bear with me a minute here. Get you lifted up here so you can see the train going by here. All right, I'm going to actually flip the camera around and see if you can see. I'll let it go by once. It's coming around the bend there now, and then I'll take you on a little brief tour of my setup. Let's see if I'm new to this, so bear with me to the live stuff. But these are the two AC4400s, or C44-9s. I don't know why I keep calling them AC400s. Athearn. So what I'm doing on my Jeep 38 is actually, I did in those, with the exception, those have the 6-function decoder versus the 2-function because of the ditch lights. I do have still some programming I got to work on for the ditch lights because they don't quite flash exactly how I want. But all right, I'm taking you out of the camera tripod and giving you a little bit of a tour. So this right here is my yard. This is Egremont yard, or for the town of Egremont. Yes, it's a 3-track yard. I've got, eventually this will be a 1/2-track main. So back here, this turnout here switch is where it goes into 2. This is a trailing point lead, or tail lead for the yard, so it doesn't foul the main. where my switcher right here and this track eventually, as you can see, I'm starting to work on it a little bit, is engine fueling. This train that's running around that you see is on this track. Here's the inside track that leads into the yard. This track back here is actually for interchange, whether I'm physically going to be interchanging my cars with somebody or if I'm going to do interchange beyond the basement, which would be virtual, to where, and I'm working on some of that, but we do have a Facebook group for that if you want to check that out. It's MRT Interchange. Yes, you have to join it, but that's just to kind of keep the spam and stupid crap out. But basically that's where, like, I'm gonna say, okay, I have this car that's loaded with XYZ product. I need to ship it somewhere off my railroad. Somebody says I need XYZ product. So I go and take this car and put it on this track, email them, message them, whatever, and say, hey, this car is sitting there. It's on its way. They say they virtually receive it and they unload it. I in turn leave it either sit there or if I have more, I'll take it off. Then they tell me it's on its way back. And then the next time I operate, I put it on there and switch it back in. Then coming off that one, we go back here. It's actually a lead that goes into 2. You'll see here. This is actually going to be a scrap yard when it's all said and done. A good size one. This track here, actually, you can kind of see right here, used to go around too tight of a curve. I changed that up. But that is going to go up, because if you look right up here, when I get my hand out of the way, you can see the line. That is where the second level is going to go. Yes, that is fairly steep, but these 2 locomotives can pull. I've only got like 20 some cars right now, because I recently got back into the hobby. But those 2 locomotives, because I have them weighted down and all that good stuff, they can pull them clear to the top up there. So that's that yard. That's our bottom yard. I have to order more track to finish all this up. So we go over here. There again, this is the one it's running on. That's the outside, which I'll explain here once we get around the corner here. Where the steam locomotive is, that is actually going to be my rip track area. As you can see, I've got some buildings in place just playing around. This actually has Evan Designs welding. They have like a welding kit that makes it flash like somebody's welding inside. I haven't installed, but as you can see, I haven't gotten any farther. But yeah, this where the steamer is, my 484. That is the rip track. This is the other main that goes around over here. Oh, got a train coming by. Unfortunately, none of mine other than the steamer have sound at this time, but that is the plan. I can't wait. But I also know from the past, my past railroads I had, where I think 80% of them had sound, and I found that I had a majority of them shut off unless I was running them, because the sound got too messed up. So as you can see here, these are the rip track and the inside main, closest main to the yard, come back together. But then I got this crossover from the other main over here, which that goes behind my computer where I record my podcast and whatnot. That goes around over here. If you see right here where I've got roadbed laid down, that is eventually, once I get more track, that's going to come around. There's going to be a turnout that goes from here and switches over to this track. And that's part of operation wise. And then this is actually, I got to finish up my bench work. This is actually going to come out about 9-10 inches from here and go. This will be all gone, and that's actually going to go down here and stick out roughly about right here, to kind of give you an overview, and that'll just be industries and stuff. So back around here, I'll take you. We're going to dip under. I do have a swing gate here, but since I got a train running, I don't like opening it up. So what I did was when I took this curve out that was going up because it was too sharp. I mean, those locomotives could pull them up, but they struggled. I decided to take that off. This jumps across. Unfortunately, back here, right in the middle of our basement, is the furnace, hot water heater, all that good stuff. So I had to work around that. This right here, from right here down to the end here, is actually, when it's all said and done, I'll basically be able to pull 2 screws on either side and lift that out. So we have access if something happens. But this is kind of the outside of the track. But the idea is that you come out of the yard here and you come across on the inside here, you jump out here, you make a loop around on the track that this train's running on, only in the opposite direction. And then once you make that loop, you come out here and jump on this track, which you can see I've already got the roadbed laid, or most of it anyways, where this will jump up and go to the upper level, which will be, let me scoot back under here again now the train's gone, which will be, upper level will be the town of Montana. And the thing with that is I'm modeling, I don't want to say city limits per se, but it is a basically adjacent towns. And so all operation, I haven't decided speed limit yet, probably 25 mile an hour. All my it's going to be town to town kind of thing, not an oversized switching layout, but not a lot of complicated switching. I want to be able to, like this, put a train up, have it run for when people come over to view it. Or I wanted it simple to where a first time person at my railroad, they have a good time running it, so it's not overly complicated, but yet enough to keep somebody happy who has operated it and likes the switching. So it kind of does a little bit of both. Let's face it, unless you have an absorbent amount of space and stuff, and money and time, it's hard to get all that, to be able to make everybody happy with operating. But like I said, this train's running around. I just want to make sure I recently got that loop done. So these locomotives, I've had them running on here for a decent amount of laps, but I want to really get them broken in while they were new to me, or used when I bought them, so new to me. How much did they really get run before me? So, and I've always been a firm believer you got to break them in and stuff, especially not cutting down Athearn Blue Box. I like them. But one feature I did put in, so my vehicle I used to have, I was always going to put this in, and it kind of sucks because of the reflection. Let me take you guys off the tripod, see if I can get a better, yeah, see. So this is a rearview mirror. It's designed to go over your rearview mirror, and it's got a forward-facing camera, and then it's got a camera that runs from like to the back or whatever. So I don't know if, yeah, there we go. So I'm like, if you can see standing here, I have, in a sense, even going around the corner, I have 8 foot of, I can't see my train. It dawned on me one day, I'm like, oh, you know what? I got this rearview mirror, why not set it up? So I set it up. It doesn't give me 100% coverage, but it gives me enough that I'll jump back over here and show you the camera itself, actually. The camera is right there. I just have it pointing down. It gives you enough of a view to see, okay, did I lose some of my train, or did it disconnect, or, so I thought it was kind of neat. I mean, I wasn't using it. Would I recommend somebody doing that? Going out and spending 80 or 100 bucks. I don't know. I think I spent a couple $100, 150 bucks on that. I was going to put it in my pickup that I had before I sold it. No, but if you have access to that kind of thing, why not make use of it? My new car's already got a backup camera, so I don't need it. Another feature, these buildings back here are modelbuilding.org buildings. They are ones you purchase them online. They're paper buildings. Purchase them online, print them off. You can print them off as many as you want. You can take them into like Photoshop or whatever your favorite photo editing software is. I haven't done that yet. I mean, I've tinkered around with it, but nothing that I've printed yet. And then, you print them off, put them on. They're good for background buildings. Well, those are some there too. I think the detail on them is unreal, considering it's just flat and you paint them. You can use cereal box cardboard. I have some that's a little bit thicker than that I haven't used, or that I have left from years ago. That works great for it. But when that runs out, I'm already saving up my stock of cereal cardboard. But that's what these buildings are here. This is actually a 3D one I purchased. And yeah, if you're right up on it, you can tell, but there's ways that you can, and I haven't done it with these, but if you print off two of them, you can print, cut out one of these and stick it on there, make it stand out, or cut it out and put it behind. There's a lot of ways you can make it more 3D. This is actually a kit out of a Bar Mills, and it was supposed to be tar paper siding or whatever they call that. And I didn't like that. And that is, I just picked a building I like the siding on, printed it off, and put it on there. And real easy. I can weather it when it's all said and done. Like I said, I haven't hooked anything up. I haven't had any time to work on that. That's what these are for. I like them because they're not that expensive. If you get into like where they have packs of where you get anywhere from 4 to like 10 different buildings that they allow you to, that you get with this, that you can download. You can, and like I said, you can download them, and then you can print all till there's no more paper and ink in the world if you wanted. But they're great for a quick setup. If you're wanting to see, okay, is this building going to look right in this area? And it, okay, you would like this Walthers building or this Fine Scale Miniatures building or whatever. Find one that is close to that, cut it, print it out, cut it out, put it up, do some test runs, whether operation or just to see if it's size-wise will fit. So, but let me actually grab, and I'll show you. I normally don't set stuff on my railroad like this, but figure I got you guys set up here. But that's black and white stuff. But let's see if I can do this without derailing anything. But there's a station. That's one of my low relief buildings, and I mean, literally, that's the building. You print that off, and it gives you all. Well, let's get back here. If my fingers will work, the tops and stuff. It gives you instructions. They have many different buildings, tons. They have Old West stuff. They have more modern day. They have railroad industry. They have they have a ton, and I really like them, especially lower you down, give you a little bit more regular person view now. Especially if you're in the planning stages of things, they're really cool for that, as they allow you, like I said, if you're unsure exactly, okay, I don't know exactly what I want here. Do I want this, or do I, what size of building, or I don't even know what kind of industry I want, you can go look through their website. And if you buy individually, from what I've looked at, I want to say they're about 15, anywhere from $12 to $20 for a building. Or like I said, if you buy these kits where you can get anywhere from 4 to I think 8 or 10 on some of them. And you're not buying the actual buildings. Like I said, you're buying the rights to download them and print them. But, and they're anywhere from 20 some to about $25 average. And they have some that are up around the 45, the kits, but you get so much with them, and there's so much you can do. That first building I showed you down here, we'll take you down here actually and show you. This is actually, I'm trying to remember here. This is actually 1, 2, 3 of them together to make that big long setup. I was just trying it out. So yes, there are flaws. That's because I'm kind of one of these people that can get impatient at times especially when it's something cool, something new. But great for background buildings. Even if you don't think you're going to want it for a foreground building, great for background buildings. But if you're interested in it, check them out. Model Buildings, and that's buildings in plural, but modelbuildings.org. Great website. I've emailed them and talked to them about some stuff for my podcast, and you're a great guy, great people there. And on our podcast, we talked about this once. I don't know if you've seen this, but these are actually, I'm going to try them out temporarily for backdrop. Sky poster board from Hobby Lobby. I want to say you get them on sale. I think I got them on sale for, I don't know, under $1 a piece when they have their sales. Otherwise, they're like $1 or $1.50 a piece. When I bought them, they only had 3 of them, but I'm planning on going back and get more when I get to that point. But so yeah, we'll go down here a little bit more and get you set up. Actually, let's raise you up a little bit. I'm sure you don't want to stare at my workbench. We'll get you situated for the next time it goes around, and that will probably be one of the final ones for the night. So I just, like I said, wanted to get a little bit of work done on that locomotive, and I figured I would jump on here and go live. I went live earlier this last week, and just, wanted to actually do a little bit more this time around. I finally got this area cleaned up from doing work, so you can see things kind of still a little bit disarray from working on the swing gate. Train's coming around now, actually. Get my throttle back on. We'll let it go around one more time and shut this down. I don't know if people have how much you're in Facebook or some of the groups on there, but people, or I guess not necessarily, but I know I've seen it a lot on there. And I'm going to take you off tripod again here. Those trucks with the excavators and stuff at Menards for HO scale. That's one of them right there. Not bad for detail. That's another one there. they didn't have the ones. There's a couple more that I really want, and I want to get a couple more with the excavators. This one is actually for my scrap mill. I'm gonna sit you down, but this one I actually got off Amazon. It was about $30, about 35 with shipping. But this one actually has a magnet on the bottom, and it's got the grapple like they'd use in the big long boom that they use on scrap mills or at scrap mills. So obviously I need to get a couple more of them for the scrap facility I am building. But and then, like I said, I want to get a couple more excavators for that. But those are like I said, I showed you, those are the trucks from Menards, and they're, I don't remember, $10 or less, probably $10 by the time you pay tax. But yeah, I was very impressed with them. I thought I'd buy them. I try to buy stuff like that for doing the podcast, so I can give you guys honest reviews. But yeah, so all right, let me raise you up here, and we are gonna flip you around here. I really appreciate those that have stuck with us this live. Really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to doing more of these. If you're on TikTok, jump over there tomorrow. We are doing, I want to say late morning. We're going to be doing actually our first live over there because we finally hit 1,000. Actually, we're over 1,000 now. We're just excited that we hit that for the support, and we finally hit the 50. We're actually above 50 subscribers now for our YouTube channel. Not for any reason other than we want to share the hobby. That's the whole purpose of me even starting the podcast like I did, the audio podcast. If you're interested in checking that out, it's Model Railroad Talk. iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google. Look this up. I will tell you, if you start from the beginning, the very first ones up until I would say at least halfway through. I mean, they progressively got better. It's been a process, but yeah, if you want to check us out on there, if you have something to listen to, if you're a podcast kind of person, you can also check out our website. It's completely free. Our website's free. www.modelrailroadtalk.com. We have forums over there. We have groups over there. If you want to get in on the forums and stuff, you do have to set up an account. It's free. We don't charge for that. And the setup process is real easy. The only reason we do that is so we can monitor who's coming in and out. So we're not, my main goal is to not get loaded with spam or spam bots or whatever they call them. So that's free for anybody to use. Trying to think if there's anything else, but yeah, we're excited that we were able to go live on this, and we're excited for the future. I know about the only thing I have scenic is my yard right here. It's a building process. I would be done. Not done. I would be a lot farther if I wasn't doing the podcast and the videos and stuff, but because that takes a lot of time in order to record and get the shots and get the recording and all that stuff. But ultimately, that's fine. I'm not in it I don't have a deadline. I'm not building the railroad for any other purpose than I love model trains. So thank you for watching. We are planning on, we don't know, I haven't been able to with the holidays since we just hit those marks to be able to go live. Ideally, I'm thinking probably live on Tuesdays for one and Thursdays for the other kind of thing. But I may get a whim and be like, hey, guess what? We're going to go live. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, keep your train on the tracks.